On this week's episode of Code Blue News, Amy shines a spotlight on Holbrook's very own Hall of Fame coach. Kai gives an inside scoop on the food pantry, and a deep dive is given on how the teacher shortage is affecting students in Holbrook. Hey Bulldogs, I'm Johan Rodriguez Vieira here with Madison Burnett, and welcome back to Code Blue News. Good morning, everyone. We're hoping everyone is having a great Friday.
I know I am.
And why is that, Madison?
Today, the girls' varsity basketball team has an away game at 5 at South Shoreville Tech.
Next week, they have three home games. Monday, December 19th against Randolph at 4:30, Tuesday, December 20th against Norfolk Aggie at 3:30, and Thursday, December 22nd against Bristol Plymouth at 4. And let's take a look at the girls' basketball promo video.
Next week, the boys' varsity basketball team has an away game, also on Tuesday, December 20th against Diamond at 5, as well as a home game against Wayland High School on Thursday, the 22nd at 5.
We wish both teams the best of luck.
With coaches like ours, we don't need luck. Did you know boys' basketball coach Mr. Gifford won 3 state titles in a row back in the 90s?
No, I didn't actually, but I think Amy has more to cover on the story.
You may know Mr. Gifford as your average chemistry teacher, but when he's outside of the classroom, he turns in arguably one of Holbrook's best coaches, especially when it comes to basketball. Gifford has over 4 decades of experience coaching in both the high school and college level.
Yeah, I was a professional basketball coach for 3.5, 4 years in Costa Rica. Then I went to Weymouth for 1 year. I was substitute teaching. And then after that, I was at Avon for 30 years. And then this is my 10th year at Holbrook as the varsity basketball coach.
With decades of experience, Coach Gifford knows in order to encourage his athletes, they'll have to push past their limits.
Coach is very regimented, he's very organized, he's kind of an old school coach, he's been doing it a long time.
You know, Mr. Gifford, he's different from any other coach because he makes sure he gets the most out of his players, and he really drives you and makes you want to play for him.
I mean, my first 10 years coaching, we won over 200 games. Some teams don't play 200 games. We won 200 games.
Many say that he may seem intimidating at times, but both the players and mentors can agree that you'll warm up to him over time.
Everybody that plays for him, I think, really likes him, even though he might come across as kind of old school. I think he still gets to the kids that he coaches.
He's not as intimidating once you really give him a chance and get to know him.
Every day, Coach Gifford motivates everyone around him, whether that's on the court or in the classroom.
Your players need to know that you really care, which I do.
He's very demanding, expects them to be at practice every day, to work hard every day. Doesn't let them slide, you know what I mean? He's always trying to motivate them by making sure that they're consistent.
Mr. Gifford made me see my own potential in myself as a player. So on the court, he really makes me want to give my all.
While appearing in the Baseball Hall of Fame, Coach Gifford has yet to show up in the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Nobody is in both the Basketball and Baseball Hall of Fame. So I don't know. I can't figure it out.
Hopefully in the next year or two he will, but he's definitely deserving. He's definitely a Hall of Fame coach.
This team that I have is of my 12 years here, is the best bunch of kids I've ever coached in Holbrook.
With almost 500 wins and less than 200 losses to his belt, we're eager to see this boys' basketball season and hope to see Mr. Gifford placed in the Basketball Hall of Fame soon. It's been Amy Yip reporting for Code Blue News. Back to you in the studio.
Wow, Mr. Gifford is like HMHS's very own personal celebrity. If you want a more in-depth story on him, be sure to check his HCAM documentary, The Measure of Success. Speaking of remarkable achievements, congratulations to our very own Justin Jerome for winning Mayflower Player of the Year for football.
But on another note, the sophomore class will be selling candy grams next week to send to your friends for the holidays. They will be $2 each and will be sold during all lunches from Monday through Wednesday.
Reminder that HMHS is still having our annual Hunger Games food drive. This week, 7th grade is in the lead. Grades 6 and 8 are 2nd and 3rd place respectively. Unfortunately, grades 12 and 10 are eliminated.
And attention all seniors. If you would like to attend the Celtics game, please visit Miss F. To be eligible, you must have freshman and sophomore dues paid, earned 0 X's on term 1, and returned any Hilliard's money that you may owe.
It's in our bulldog nature to be kind, so try donating and giving back to the community.
Speaking of, let's hand it back to Kai, who went to the Council on Aging to learn more about their food pantry.
Over the years, the Holbrook Food Pantry has been a pillar in feeding our community every second Saturday of the month. However, the decrease in the elderly presence on this day was becoming a rising issue and one that the food pantry wanted to combat fast. Since then, the food pantry has teamed up with the Council of Aging to open up the second Monday specifically for the elders in our community.
This food pantry impacts the elderly in this community tremendously. Our only wish and our desire is that we can impact more of them. That's why we've established this once a month just for seniors to come and shop. Seniors, particularly now, they tend to look at having to be needy, or they might look at it as a handout, and there's a little bit of a stigma for them. We believe that they're a little embarrassed to have to ask for help, but we have plenty. People donate. We have, and we want to give back to it.
It has a big effect on the elderly in our community. For a long time, we've had a large elderly group coming up here, just in terms of proportion. In the early days, we were very predominantly elderly in terms of who we were serving. And even today, we continue to have a large elderly subset coming up here.
The Council of Aging has been a big help in providing transportation for many elders who need help getting to and from the food pantry, adding a needed assistance for the seniors that may need help but don't know how to ask.
And what we found was happening was the elderly weren't able to reach us as efficiently as they were in the past, so that's why we partnered with the Council of Aging, so that way we can serve more of the elderly community.
We've been wanting to do this for a couple of years because we realized there is definitely a need for the elder population, and as we've been doing this, when people would come, we would see more and more aging individuals in town come, and then all of a sudden they didn't come anymore. And when we inquired why, it was the inability to get here. So that's what really drove this.
The plan to dedicate this day for the seniors in our community has been a long process that has finally taken off. With the help of volunteers and the Council of Aging as a whole, the food pantry has been able to create a safe and inclusive environment for anyone in need.
We rely a lot on word of mouth, of course, and we also rely a lot on volunteers. We need as much help as we can get. If anyone's come up here in the past, they see just how massive of an operation that this is. And we're always looking to grow and expand, and to do that we need volunteers. And for many years we've relied a lot on students, whether it be through the National Honor Society or various other groups that are looking to volunteer up here.
I get very emotional. I love the elder. The elder have paved the way for everybody to be where they are today, you and me and everybody here. So it's only right that we help them in the end when their life is winding down, that we help them because they did so much for us over the years of their life.
The food pantry is always looking for more volunteers to help out throughout the months, and this is also a great way to pay back to your community. This has been Kai Forbes with Code Blue News. Back to you in the studio.
Way to show the holiday spirit, Kai. But we want to highlight another holiday event that occurred last week. On December 29th, the robotics team held a family fun night and raffle for attendees at 4 for the school. This night included food, drinks, activities, and a great amount of holiday cheer. The raffle was a huge success, and many people went home happily with brand new prizes, and the Bizarre Bots were able to raise money for their program. With the start of their season on the come-up, this event has allowed them to get a leg up on the journey that they have ahead.
Next Monday is the start of our holiday-themed Spirit Week leading up to winter break.
Monday is Merry Monday, so wear your favorite ugly sweater or holiday-themed hat. Tuesday is Beach versus Blizzard Tuesday. Dress for a day in the sun or in the snow. Wednesday is Winter Wonderland Wednesday, so be sure to wear your best holiday outfit. Thursday is Character Day Thursday, and you should dress as your favorite winter movie character.
And lastly, Friday is PJ Friday, finishing off the week wearing your comfiest pajamas. Also, Friday is our holiday pep rally.
And we want to thank all of the teachers and staff that make our pep rallies and Spirit Week possible. With the nationwide teacher shortage, it makes it very unfortunate.
And we have more information on how that affects our school as well.
Hey Bulldogs, I'm Johan Rodriguez Vieira, reporting for Code Blue News.
Many students at Holbrook Middle High School have seen their staff dwindle down, and with the recent pandemic, students all over the country have been in need of a teacher more than ever.
I think not having a teacher affects my learning ability a lot. Over the past couple months, I haven't had an English teacher, and it was a little difficult for me to actually learn and actually kind of grasp what we're doing.
Not having a teacher makes my experience in the classroom a little bit harder. It's kind of frustrating to not have anyone there to help me, and I feel like I'm not learning as much material as I could be if there was a teacher there.
If you're a student, or even if you're a parent at home, or possibly even a teacher in the building, right? And you see that you're languishing in a given department, we're missing a teacher. Why isn't this person getting hired? It's tough when no one's applying. I think that there are more complications, more barriers for teachers. There's more ways in which their hands are sort of tied. They have to deal with more difficulties in the sense of like, not that it's a bad thing necessarily, but there's more responsibility on the shoulders of teachers in general.
And yet, students are still doing everything they can to manage with different ways of learning.
I feel like when I can go on the internet and learn from websites, it kind of cuts off some of the excess stuff that teachers might have us do, because I can see exactly what they're looking for in these exams, the tests, those kind of things.
I feel like when we work on those Chromebooks, a lot of that work that we get is a ton of busy work, and it's not like we're not applying ourselves. It's not like we're getting taught through a lesson and then applying ourselves through the questions. So I think that's a big missed goal there.
The reality becomes that the classes become crowded, right? So, if you're missing just one or two people, classes necessarily, now that your teacher to student ratio is going to be thrown out of whack, it'd be nice if you could have a class of, 12, 15, 17 kids, but all of a sudden it's 23, 24, 27, 30 kids. And all of the needs of an individual student for us, it's 57-minute periods, right? There's only so much time you can give to each individual student.
And even students of advanced placement classes are trying to navigate through their circumstances.
We didn't have an AP teacher for English, and a lot of those kids are in that class for a reason. It's an advanced placement class. They want to go to college. They want to get those extra credits. Maybe some of them want to go to college for English. Maybe some of them want to teach. And without having that teacher there, I feel like it's a lot more difficult because those kids don't quite understand a lot of that material.
Being an AP student and not having a teacher, it makes me a little bit uneasy about taking the exam. I feel like some of the material I'm learning really isn't going to help me get to where I need to be.
Our students believe in the importance of teachers, and Holbrook High is doing everything they can to invest in this new generation in order to create the leaders of tomorrow.
I think that most students know that this is whatever you do now is a part of your future. Whatever you accomplish now, whatever you do now is a part of your future. If you're not succeeding in class, if you're not good on the books, if you're not passing tests, if you're not passing quizzes, if you're not passing in work in general, your future is in your own hands.
You always want to do the best for you. You always want to put forth the most effort. Say, okay, here I am in this situation. The situation might not be something you can dictate, and this really applies to anything, but how you behave, how you comport yourself in a given situation is always up to you.
And I'm Johan Rodriguez Vieira, and back to you in the studio.
Teachers seem to be really important to the school. Thankfully, the junior English teacher has been filled. Welcome, Ms. Ta.
And here at Code Blue News, we believe that learning about issues that affect students in the building is always important.
So please take a moment of appreciation for the amazing HMHS teachers we have. And that wraps it up for this week. I'm Madison Burnett.
And I'm Johan Rodriguez Vieira, and see you next week for the holiday edition of Code Blue.